Let's check the runners and riders. 1, Gower Slave, Mick Fitzgerald. 2, Narrow Water, Adrian Maguire. 3 is The Last Fling, Seamus Durack. 4, Smarty, Norman Williamson. Number 5, Village King, Robert Widger. 6, Church Place from Ireland, Paul Carberry. 7, Meadowbank, Richard McGrath. 8 is Paddy's Return, John McNamara. Number 9, Amberleigh House, Warren Marston. Number 10, No Retreat, Gary Lyons. 11, Ardent Scout, Dominic Ellsworth claiming the 3. 12 is Native King, Carl Llewellyn. 13, Kildora, being ridden there by Barry Canary, claiming 3. 14, Skillwise, Tony Dobbin. And 15, Young Tomo, A.D. Smith. They're the 15 runners for the Tote Becher chase over 3 miles and 3 furlongs of the Grand National course. They jumped 22 fences in all. Let's have a look now at the betting.
Well, this is a tremendous betting heat with Smarty, the 9-2 favourite. Narrow Water was backed in the offices this morning, but it's 6-1 now, having drifted out from 5s. Ardent Scout is 8s, the same price as Meadowbank and Skillwise. Church Place is 10s from 8s. Gower Slave out to 12s. It's 14-1 bar, and that includes The Last Fling, who is the best backed horse other than Narrow Water this morning.
Brook, and there's not a long run to it, and Young Tomo on the outside is one of the leaders as they jump off. And also up with them is Native King as they jump the first, and Narrow Water's there on the outside. And I can't see a faller at the first as they come now to the second. And Native King on the inside of Narrow Water, Gower Slave, then Young Tomo. They're followed by Church Place. And there's one gone at the second, which looks like Meadowbank. Meadowbank's gone at the second. The next is the first open ditch, and Gower Slave's taken up the running from Narrow Water, who jumped it really well at the back of the field. A slow jump by Kildora. Last but one is No Retreat as they go now to the fourth. And Narrow Water, Gower Slave, Native King, Smarty and Young Tomo. They're ahead of Ardent Scout and Church Place. They're all over that one safely as they go to the Melling Road. For the first time, it's Gower Slave in the lead, and we join Jim McGrath.
As they cross the Melling Road on the first occasion, only 1 casualty so far. Meadowbank out and 14 still standing, as they've got a long run now before they reach fence number 5. And out in front is Gower Slave. Narrow Water is out there as well, and tucked in behind them Native King. They're a length to Smarty, who's very handy, last year's or this year's runner-up in the Grand National. Young Tomo is up there as well, followed by Ardent Scout and The Last Fling, tucked in behind horses today. Further back is Village King, followed by Church Place, and then over on the far side, Skillwise. Kildora behind horses from Paddy's Return and Amberleigh House as they race along now towards the 5th. And it's Gower Slave on the far side from Narrow Water as they draw towards it now. Mighty leap there by Smarty, jumped up into 3rd there, followed by Young Tomo, who's back in the field, and The Last Fling is gone. The Last Fling is gone there at the 5th. Coming towards the 6th now, Narrow Water on the near side, jumps into the lead from Gower Slave. Then in 3rd is Smarty, followed then by Native King in behind them. Further back in the field, Young Tomo from Village King, and further back then Skillwise as they race now towards the chair. And it's Smarty who's going to lead this field to the chair. Smarty, who's right up there, and in the centre, Narrow Water, who leads over, and eventually Paddy's Return is gone. He's gone at the chair, but it's Narrow Water who leads here from Gower Slave and Young Tomo. Smarty is there as well as they go to the water in front of the stands. Village King behind them, followed by Gower Slave, and further back is Church Place from Ardent Scout. Skillwise, then Amberleigh House, Kildora. No Retreat is last of those who are still in the race as they race now past the stands and out towards the Melling Road. And the leader here is Gower Slave in company with Narrow Water. Out deeper on the track then follows Young Tomo from Village King, and they're followed by Smarty. Behind them is Church Place from Native King, and further back then is Skillwise from Ardent Scout. Well back Amberleigh House from Kildora, and No Retreat as we rejoin John Hanmer.
And I was relieved to see the riderless Paddy's Return go down the Mildway course. He looked for a moment as if he was going to head out into the country, and Narrow Water pecked badly at the 9th fence, but still retained 2nd place behind Gower Slave. Young Tomo's there on the outside. Ardent Scout's right there with Village King as they jump the 10th. And they're all over that safely, and coming to the 11th, which is an open ditch. It's Gower Slave, Narrow Water, Young Tomo, then Church Place on the inside, and then comes Smarty over this open ditch, and Gower Slave sails over it. No Retreat, the back marker. Coming to the next plain fence, and it's Gower Slave in the lead. Church Place improving on the inside. Narrow Water, Smarty, Young Tomo are right there. They're all over that. The next is the one before Becher's, and the leader is Gower Slave from Church Place, then Young Tomo in the centre of the track, then Smarty, Amberleigh House and Narrow Water as they jump the one before Becher's. And no fallers at that. Skill-wise has dropped to the back of the field with Native King. They've been passed by No Retreat, and coming now down to Becher's Brook, the leader Gower Slave from Smarty, then Church Place on the inside, and the leader goes to the left, slightly hampers Church Place. Young Tomo pecked quite badly at that. The next is the Foynehaven fence, and the leader is Gower Slave from Smarty, Church Place, Amberleigh House, then Village King, then Young Tomo, who took a heavy fall, but I think the others are safe enough at it now to the canal for the only time, and it's Gower Slave showing in front of Smarty, then Church Place, Amberleigh House, Arden Scout and Kildora, and then No Retreat over the canal, and a very bad mistake by Kildora, and it's finally gone at that. Kildora the faller as they come now to Valentine's, and Gower Slave led over Valentine's from Smarty going well in second, then Amberleigh House is third. They're followed then by Church Place, No Retreat, Village King and Arden Scout over 5 out. Gower Slave from Smarty in second. Then Amberleigh House, Church Place, No Retreat, Village King and Arden Scout, and they're well clear as they go to the final open ditch, 4 out. Gower Slave by a length and a half from Smarty. Then in third is Amberleigh House. No Retreat still making ground is fourth. Then Church Place, Village King and Arden Scout, a big gap to Native King. Skill-wise has been pulled up over 3 out, and Gower Slave, who's jumped beautifully in the lead for a lot of the way, is still in front, but Smarty's just a length behind, if that. Then Amberleigh House, No Retreat, Village King, hard ridden, then Church Place, Arden Scout. They're well clear of Native King, and these are the only ones left as we join Jim McGrath.
Well, 8 runners still left in the race in this Tote Becher chase now, as they've got 2 fences left to jump, and Gower Slave has been jumping for fun, is now joined by Smarty. The runner-up in the Grand National early this year has loomed up into second. Amberleigh House behind them in third, followed by No Retreat. Further back, Church Place for Ireland. They're followed by Village King and Arden Scout, and they've kicked away as they race now towards the second last. And it's Gower Slave on the far side going well, but Smarty now throwing down the gauntlet. Norman Williamson on the near side. They come towards the second last, stride for stride. Smarty draws towards it now, takes off, lands in the lead from Gower Slave. They're followed by Amberleigh House, No Retreat, Arden Scout behind them from Village King. They're followed then by, on the far side, Church Place as they come down towards the last. And it's Smarty, the runner-up in the Grand National, puts in a mighty leap, lands over at 4 lengths in front. Amberleigh House is running on as a danger. Gower Slave can find no more, followed then by No Retreat and Arden Scout. They're racing up towards the elbow. It's Smarty in front, Amberleigh House the challenger on the inside. They race towards the amber. They're getting very close indeed. Amberleigh House has got through on the inside. He found a needle eye opening. He's gone to the front from Smarty. No Retreat is battling on, but Amberleigh House. It's Amberleigh House in the lead here with 50 yards left to go. Warren Marston hard at work as Amberleigh House gets up to win the Tote Becher chase in good style. Smarty second again over the national fences. In third, Church Place. Fourth in Arden Scout. Fifth, No Retreat. Sixth is Gower Slave, followed by Native King behind them. And the last to finish is Village.
Okay, for a little while in the Grand National before being brought down. He returned a 33-to-1 winner here, much to the delight of trainer and jockey Warren Marston. Smarty, Grand National runner-up, always tracking the leaders. He was second at 4-to-1, that was the favourite. And Church Place, Noel Mead's Irish Raider, back in third, sticking on to take third place. 15 ran